Asante sana. Asante sana. Karibu sana waziri.
Kwa heshima na taadhima, karibu sana Mheshimiwa John Mbadi, waziri wa fedha. Karibu sana katika uga huu wa Swahili Port.
Karibu sana. Asante. Tupigieni tena makofi.
Tumkaribisheni kwa shangwe na nderemo katika uga wetu wa Swahili Port, alafu tuwe na utulivu ili tuweze kuanza kipindi chetu rasmi. Dadangu, karibu na uwe peleka kipindi chetu. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, whoever is standing, have a seat so that we can officially start today's program. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rukia Janwala, and I will be moderating today's session. Bwana Waziri, karibu sana to Swahili Port Foundation. Can we all rise for the national anthem and the East African anthem? Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Thank you. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. From the county government of Mombasa, welcome to Swahili Port Foundation at the National Youth Dialogue on the budget process. And in here today, we have the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury and Economic Planning that is going to have a conversation with us. A lot of the times we've had conversation on how budget allocation is done and the major role that we have as the citizens of the country to play in this part. So before we start with introducing a few of the speakers, before our chief guest is able to address this, I would like everyone who is standing behind that to please find a place to sit so that we can have a proper conversation on the issues that we're facing today as a country. I need to have everyone settled before we can officially have the speakers coming on stage. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Acknowledging that once again that we're here to have the National Youth Dialogue on the budget process and understanding the criteria of resource allocation and specifically on the role of citizenry. Tuko hapa kuweza kuelewa ile bajeti yetu ya nchi inatengenezwa vipi na ni role gani tulionayo kama wananchi, uwe mwanamke, uwe kijana, uwe mtu yoyote kwa miaka yoyote, ni role gani ambayo unaweza kucheza katika kutengeneza bajeti yetu ya nchi na kuweza kuangalia ile developments that we'd have as a nation. It is important to have budgets because finances are the backbone for any development. So the questions that we've had over time in understanding how this process looks like, it is something that our cabinet secretary here is joining us to answer the questions, to educate us on the exact process that the government is taking to be able to have that. But maybe before I have the first speaker that comes here, in any kind of budgeting, we all require finances on our day-to-day engagement. Sindio? Si tunahitaji pesa na sisi wenyewe kibinafsi tuko na zile personal budgets, lakini unapopanga budget haimaanishi pesa uko nayo ama hauna. Unapanga ili kulingana na mahitaji ulionayo kibinafsi ama kifamilia. Alafu hapo ndo uweze kujua kwamba hiyo pesa tunaitoa wapi ili uweze kutimiza zile aspirations, dreams, na the needs of that family or your person. So today we're going to look at the same process that we would take in terms of your personal finances or family finances, where we look at it from the national aspect in terms of budgeting, budget process making, and budget allocation as well. And at the same time, I would like to acknowledge the CCM of Youth, Gender, Sports, and Social Services, Honorable Mbadi, that is joining us today. Thank you very much. And without further ado, I would like to call the first speaker on stage, and that is a representative from the Mwananchi Bunge, and that is none other than Josephat Msungu. Please come on stage and address the team.
Kwa niaba ya Bunge la Wananchi Mombasa, wakazi wa Mombasa, wananchi wa Mombasa, vijana, wamama na watu wanaoishi na ulemavu, Mheshimiwa, tunasema karibu sana Mombasa. Tuko na furaha ya kwamba you are the first finance minister who has taken initiative of coming to the grassroots since independent, and we congratulate you for that. Mheshimiwa, as a Bunge la Wananchi, most of the time we always debate on finance budget and finance bill. For the last year, tulisikia kwamba you have a passion of reducing the VAT from 16% to 14%. And we are happy that you are here today. You will tell us more on how you are going to make it, because that is the desire of our country, that the VAT should be reduced from 16% to at least 14%. Mheshimiwa Waziri, kwa niaba ya wakazi wa Mombasa, we would also want you to assure us the security in the preparation of finance bill na baada ya finance bill kutabeliwa kwa parliament, because last year financial year tuliona changamoto ambao bunge liliweza kuvamiwa na finance bill ikatupiliwa mbali kwa sababu ya kutoelewana kati ya vitengo vilivyokuwa vikiwakilisha na wananchi. So Mheshimiwa, matarajio yetu ni kwamba tunapojumuika hapa kuhusika katika mchakato huu wote wa finance ya budget ya mwaka huu, ya kwamba maoni ya wananchi yataweza kuzingatiwa tofauti na ilivyokuweko mwaka uliopita. Sio kwamba finance bill ya mwaka huu isitulete katika shida ambayo tulipitia mwaka uliopita, mahali ambapo vijana walijitokeza na hasira na mashirika mengine ya kutetea haki za kijamii wakakataa ile finance bill, na walipotoa mapendekezo yao labda ilikuwa hayakuweza kujumuishwa. Lakini tuko na imani kwa sababu umewacha ofisi yako kule na AC ambayo inakupiga kule, ukaamua kukuja hapa chini kusikiliza maoni yetu. Tuko na imani kwamba you are the best finance minister, we have never seen it. Karibu sana Mombasa Mheshimiwa. Asante.
Thank you very much, Josephat. And next on stage is the president of the university students.
Okay, thank you. All protocols observed. Comrades power. Comrades Zaga Zaga. By name, I'm the Beast from the East. President Emeritus Technical University of Mombasa, the only university at the sea level. Thank you. Today is the day of the youth, not the old. So I think 99% of us are the youth, and most of them are comrades. Comrades power. Comrades power. Bwana CS, we have come all coastal region. I would like to say that I'm the Secretary General of Kenya University Student Organization, and my president, Technical University of Mombasa, was here. I don't know if he's around. We have a president from Pwani University. You can stand and wave. Pwani University. Yes, that is the president from Pwani University. From Kilifi County, we have the leadership from within Mombasa, the student leaders from Kenya Coast National Polytechnic. They can stand and wave. Thank you so much. We have the executive from the only university at the sea level, from Technical University of Mombasa. I think they can stand, and even their team can stand, all comrades, and wave for Mbadi. Mbadi power. Comrades power. Power. I acknowledge the position of the president, Technical University of Mombasa now. I want to take the shortest time possible. Yeah, I think I want to say that 75% of this country is made up with the youth. And the future is governed by the youth. That's why we are here. And we want to take this wonderful chance to thank you for having a specific youth dialogue. I don't want to say much because comrades have what they will ask. For this reason, I want to appreciate you, Mbadi, with the entire team. We had a warm welcome from your office. Thank you so much. Yes, Injia Wandari, welcome and so much. And all will be said. I won't say all as a president, but the comrades will have time to tell. We'll wish you be here for the next 2 days and meet specifically student leaders. 99% of the Gen Zs are student leaders. Thank you, and make comrades race. Comrades power. Comrades zaga zaga. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the Secretary General for the Comrades. And next on stage, we will have the Chair of the Youth Advisory Group. Rehema, please come on stage.
Vijana hoye! Vijana hoye! Gen Z hoye! Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Rehema Chivati. I'm a Youth Advisory Chairperson here at Swahili Port Hub Foundation. Now I want to acknowledge my team. Mimi ni representative wa YAG Mombasa, na bado tuna represent Kwale and Kilifi, na siko peke yangu, niko na wenzangu katika hivyo vitongoji. Tafadhali ningeomba msimame. Okay, thank you. So I want to also acknowledge our honorables. Yes, welcome to Swahili Port, welcome to Mombasa. Mombasa hakuna matata, au sio vijana? So karibu sana waziri, na role yetu sisi kama Youth Advisory Group Mombasa ama Swahili Port Hub Foundation. Role ya kwanza sisi kama vijana tuna make sure kuwa tuna advise vile vitu ambavyo vinataka vifanyike kwa vijana ama nyanjani. Alafu role ya pili, bwana waziri, ambao tunafanya sisi kama vijana, role ya pili ni co-design. Tuna make sure kama ni programs ambazo zinafaa zisaidie vijana, tunaingilia wapi na tunachangia kitu gani ili kuhakikisha kuwa vijana wanafanywa vitu ambavyo ni sahihi kwao. Alafu role ya tatu, bwana waziri, pia tuna on board. Hatufanyi kazi juu tu hivi. Tuna make sure wale vijana wamekuwa onboarded into database, ndio tujue ni vijana gani ama interest zao ni gani na malengo yao ni gani ama ni vitu gani wao kama vijana wanataka fanya. So mimi si mwingi wa maneno bali mwingi wa vitendo. So karibu sana waziri, na asanteni sana vijana.
Thank you very much. That was the chair of the Youth Advisory Group. Amesema actions speak louder than words. So I would like to invite the host of Swahili Port Hub Foundation, and that is founder and chief mentor of the hub, Mahmoud Nur, to please officially open today's session and welcome the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury and Economic Planning to give his remarks.
Asante Rukia. Nafikiri leo ni siku ya vijana. Bwana CS, karibu sana, ndio mgeni wetu wa heshima. Najua pia umemwalika najua pia umemwalika Governor Mombasa ambaye yuko njiani yoaja kutoka Nairobi. Lakini kabla ya hapo nilikuwa nataka nimpatie dakika moja the Deputy County Commissioner ili atujulishe wenzake wako hapa, alafu ndio tuende kwa dialogue ya vijana. Ni kuintroduce alafu tuende kwa dialogue. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmoud. I take this opportunity to welcome our CS for National Treasury with this dialogue for the youth. I think it's important, and they say this is the first time they had the minister is coming to lead. You are most welcome, CS. Before I niambie watu wangu waamuke, I have my OSPD here with my security team, Mr. Maxwell Agoro. My other team, the security team of the also attending a burial of a relative in Central. I have also Assistant County Commissioner from the County Commissioner's Office, Mr. Madoka. So thank you very much, sir, and you're welcome. Asante.
So Bwana Waziri, mimi ujumbe wangu ni moja peke yake, kwa sababu nilikuwa nataka uwe na dialogue na vijana, so sitataka kuzungumza sana, huwa naongea na wao sana, wamenizoea. Lakini ukiangalia vijana wengi wanajipatia ajira kwa kupitia hizi tarakilishi, either simu ama laptop. Kama ile Jitume Lab ambayo imeanzishwa na serikali kuu inapatia fursa vijana wengi sana kuwa wanatafuta kazi kule nje. In fact wanalipwa dola wakiwa hapa. Lakini baada ya wao kutumia hapa, huwa tunataka wakianza kupata zile ajira wanunue laptop ama watumie simu yao waende wafanye hiyo kazi nyumbani. Lakini kama kuna changamoto kubwa sana, nikiwa tunaweza kufanya laptops na simu ziwe affordable. Na njia moja ni kupunguza ushuru yake. Kwa sababu ikiwa tunataka vijana wafanye kazi, na najua rais amekuwa anasukuma sana hizo kubonyeza upate ushuru, yani bonyeza upate dola, sio? Lakini ikiwa unataka kufanya hizi kazi na kuna kiwango kubwa ambayo inaenda kwa ushuru, inakuwa ni vigumu sana. Sasa tutanyenyekea ikiwa we can make our young people be able to afford laptops, be able to afford phones, and I'm sure when they know they can make money, they will make good use of it. So sitachukua mambo mengi, nitamalizia hapa because pia mimi nakuja kusikiza vijana wanasema nini. Hii ni siku yenu, sio siku yetu sisi. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Chief Mentor. And now, the most awaited time, we would like to welcome, can we all rise as we welcome the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, Honorable John Mbadi, to address the team.
Kaini tu, ketini. Aya. Mombasa hoye. Vijana hoye. Asanteni sana. I will try to use 2 languages, but heavily on English. Nitachanganya kidogo na Kiswahili, but I will largely speak in English. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank you, the young people who are here today, and all Kenyans who have graced this occasion. This very important engagement that I planned deliberately to meet, engage with the youth and discuss and talk, more specifically, issues of budget process, but broadly, issues of governance and government in general. Something happened last year, the youth uprising, the Gen Z quest to repossess their nation and take back decision making. Everything which looks dark has a silver lining. I am a beneficiary of that youth agitation. And I'm very conscious that I'm a beneficiary of that youth agitation. And therefore, my survival or continued stay in office is heavily dependent on how I manage that youth agitation. If you can't learn, then you are destined for failure. What happened last year was a learning point for anyone who assumed a public office thereafter. And therefore, my presence here today is out of that learning. Nilianza in Nairobi juzi kukutana na wananchi kupitia kwa bunge la wananchi. Nilienda Jivanji Garden na nikakutana na Wakenya wengi, na nikaahidi ya kwamba hiyo haitakuwa mwisho. Tutaendelea na hiyo engagement. Nilisema hapo siku hiyo nilianza kusema nitaenda Mombasa. Baada ya kuja Mombasa nitaenda Garissa, pia nitaenda Kisumu na pengine nitamalizia na Eldoret. That is representative sample of where I want to visit. So today I am here in Mombasa. Let me just share something with you, my friends. When I made the decision to go to Jivanji Garden, even my team at the National Treasury thought I was crazy, because we are used to the normal traditional ways of engagement, where we sit in our high-end offices, 14th floor, and we pretend to be knowing everything that Kenyans want, and we make decisions on the 14th floor of Treasury building. When I got to the National Treasury, I made a promise that I will have to change things, that I must move to the people. I want to listen one-on-one to the people. I want to hear you. I want you to ask questions, even the most difficult, even the most inconveniencing. Just ask. Hata kama ni shy, don't shy away from asking. Hata nikishindwa kujibu, nikishindwa leo, nitatafuta majibu, nikienda Garissa nitaweza kujibu. So let us engage. In fact, I came here for engagement. That is why I have not prepared a written speech. I want this engagement to be natural. I want us to speak from our hearts. I want us to understand each other. If there is anything that you don't understand, please ask. And so let me just say a couple of things. It is important first to understand what informs the budget. We all know that the budget process starts around September every year. That is the time when you come up with what we call budget review outlook paper. Budget review outlook paper simply speaks to what happened, because you are not starting from zero. A country is running, is on the move. It started running kitambo hata before independence. So you ask yourself, last year, the people of Kenya gave us a budget. Hiyo budget tulitumia namna gani? Pesa ilitumika wapi? Na tumetekeleza nini? So that is the budget review and outlook paper. Looks at the previous budget, where you are, what happened, their projections you made. Did you realize them? If you did not realize them, what are the reasons? And how are you going to do things differently going forward to make sure that the challenges you faced with the previous budget are mitigated? So that is the starting point for budget. And then you project where the economy is going. Now you move forward to where we call the budget, to what we call the budget policy statement, which we released Juzi, which simply spells out the government agenda. But let me put it this way as well. All budget process is anchored on a manifesto. All budget process is anchored on what we call the policy direction. It's anchored on a vision. So what is the vision of our country? Vision 2030 is the vision we still work on, which spelled out that we want Kenya to be a middle income economy, not a lower middle income, but an income economy by 2030. So hiyo ndiyo vision yetu. So from that vision, now you come to this, which includes the government's manifesto, because every government must have been formed. We are a multi-party democracy, must have been formed through campaigns. Politically, because which is this ruling party now? Is it still UDA? Kwanza? If it is UDA and Kenya Kwanza, you'd ask yourself, what is Mbadi doing? And I'm the one driving now the economic agenda of the country. I've never been a member of UDA, I've never been a member of Kenya Kwanza. I am ODM and ODM bad. I am just not official of ODM, but I'm a member of ODM. I believe in ODM, and I believe in ODM manifesto. Now, the point is that now we have reached a point where Kenya Kwanza and ODM have reached the meeting of mind. Now you can call it broad-based, not bread-based, but broad-based. So, but the agenda of the government is bottom-up. Bottom-up has pillars: agricultural pillar, job creation, housing, health or universal health coverage. Then we also have what we call the digital superhighway, an inclusive economy. No, we must do our budgets in line with those pillars. Because if you just put figures, you just throw figures, amounts, money, left, right, and center, you cannot realize economic growth that is sustainable, because economic growth must be anchored on something, must be a foundation. And for this matter, the foundation must be the government agenda. It must be these pillars that I've just mentioned. So let me give you the positive side of things before I give you the sad reality. The positive of things, despite the challenges, including last year, remember we had a COVID challenge. Is that correct? As we were coming out of the COVID era, then Gen Zs felt that they were losing their country. And Gen Zs came out in large numbers. That has never been seen before. In fact, in our place, I usually use mother tongue when I describe Gen Z, that Gen Z came like Nyawawa. Nyawawa, for those who don't understand, and hii si matusi, you know, sometimes when you translate vernacular to another language, it might sound very different. Nyawawa ni kama upepo. Yani hii Gen Z, who can describe it really? How it came about. Ni kama upepo, ikakuja, no one can control it, just like we cannot control upepo. Then it calmed itself, just like upepo would do. But again, just like upepo, usipochunga, itarudi. Si ndio? So now, I wanted just to tell you that our economy has been still very resilient. Very resilient. The world economy is growing at 3.2%. That is 2024. Sub-Saharan Africa, that is if you exclude the North, then the rest of Africa's economy grew at 3.8%. Kenyan economy grew at 4.6%. So that is still good. But for our economy to create employment and job opportunities that we desire, we need a 7% growth. So even though it is 4.6%, it is still not good enough. But it is not terrible. 2023, our economy grew at 5.3%. Now it has grown at only 4.6%. The first quarter of the year, it grew only at 5%. Second quarter, 4.6%. Third quarter was even worse at 4%. The fourth quarter, there was a rebound. We are projecting 4.7, 4.8. So generally 4.6. That is good news, not bad news. The other news is our inflation is managed. It is at 3.5%. Sometimes I hear people say that you are talking of inflation down. Is that really true? The question I would ask you, have you taken time to compare the cost of food items, just basic one, in February this year and February last year? Because we have the statistics. I have them here. If you want, I will share with you later. The figures are here. But have you compared with 2022? So at least inflation has been managed because of investment in agriculture and a favorable weather, because our inflation is largely driven by food items, fuel, and energy. Even if you check the prices of fuel 2022 and now, there is a reduction. The cost of electricity has also come down slightly, not so much, but slightly. Our reserves are good, so we are not scared that we cannot pay our foreign debts, because we have enough reserves to cover 4.7 months of import. That is generally very good. We had such, we have been having only 2 months cover. Now we have 4.7, which is $9 billion in reserves. Something positive again is that the interest rates, the government of Kenya has been borrowing money from you people through banks and other financial institutions, pension funds, giving government money, Beja banks, KCB, Cooperative Bank, Equity, DTB, have been giving the government of Kenya more money than they are giving the individual Kenyans, the private citizens. And they have been giving us money at very high interest rates. Up to August last year, if you are buying 91-day treasury bill offered by government, you would get interest of 16%. Thursday last week, I did not check yesterday, but I think the change is not much. Thursday last week, in so many years, only witnessed during Kibaki time, the interest rate on 91-day treasury bill was at 8.9%. I know many people may not understand what that means, but I will explain it to you just in a layman's language, because not all of you are figures people. And by the way, before I explain to you, can I ask you a question, but don't answer me? Why am I the CS for National Treasury? Am I the greatest economic mind in this country? You have answered me, although I say don't answer, because I knew the answer, obviously, and so I didn't want to feel very small, because I knew you were going to say no. And that is the correct answer. I'm not. Am I the greatest financial mind in this country? Am I the greatest accountant in this country? No. I may be among, but they are greater minds. There is a reason why I'm here. And the most important reason is that God wanted me to be here. So whatever I do, I should do in the glory of God, to serve him, and I can only serve God by serving you people. So that is why I want to do my best. So let us start with the interest that I've just talked about. What is the value of that? 2, number 1, just do this simple math with me. Our domestic debt, okay, our total domestic debt is 5, that is mind-boggling, 5.83 trillion. Nani anaweza hesabu trillion hapa? Ukipewa trillion kuhesabu utasahau, uanze tena, usahau mpaka ukufe kabla hujamaliza ku. So trillion ni pesa nyingi sana. 5.83 trillion. That is what? Domestic debt. Out of that, 15% is what we call treasury bills. Treasury bills are those government papers which are not more than 1 year. Yani, ukikopesha serikali pesa, unalipiwa 3 months, 6 months, 12 months maximum. Those are what we call treasury bills. So those who own treasury bills in this country, the total amount is 900 billion shillings. So let's take that 900 billion shillings. If we were borrowing 900 billion shillings at the rate of August last year, interest, you will be paying serikali 140, the government would be paying you, paying all pension funds and banks and what have you, the government would be paying them 144 billion per year. If you borrow at the current rate, meaning if we retain this rate, if we manage our economy in a way that the government can only borrow at 8.9 or to 9%, if the government can borrow at 9%, the way it is today, even for a whole year, we will be paying only 81 billion shillings as interest. So 144 minus 81, we are saving 63 billion shillings. 63 billion shillings is enough to take care of all the support that we are getting from USAID. Ile pesa America ilikuwa inatupea yote kwa mwaka mzima, 52 billion, we have 63 billion to take care of that, and even with change. Hiyo 63 billion can help us support CDF projects, because I know that is what, for the whole country, CDF is only 54. 63 can pay CDF of the 290 constituency for the whole year, and you still remain with 9 billion. 63 billion we can save by reducing interest rates from 16, where it was in August when I took over office, to today. If we take it to the current rate for a whole year, the money we will save out of that can pay term 1 capitation for both basic or primary school, JSS, and high school, which is only 48.8 billion. Are we together? What I'm saying is we must manage our economy better so that we can realize some of these benefits. The second value or the second advantage of coming down of interest rates is that interest rates by banks will also follow. You have seen recently Equity Bank reduce interest rate by 3%. Kenya Commercial Bank by 2%. Some banks, Cooperative Bank 2%, some 1%. But if it is consistent, then they will lower interest rate. And when the interest rates are low, then someone with a kiosk can go to the bank and take loan and be able to pay, especially if government is also paying pending bills. Sawa sawa. So that is the positive side. Let me now come to the negative. Let me now paint to you the real picture. You know, when I talk about these nice things, you think things are rosy, and then you ask yourself, but how come I don't feel it? You see, that is the question you'll ask me. How come I don't feel it? Why you don't feel it is because of the following. Number one, my fellow countrymen, our debt level has reached a point, it was almost slipping to unsustainability. We have reached a point, and let me just explain this to you, that we are struggling to pay our debts. And it is a catch-22 situation. We are between a rock and a hard place. For us to clear our bills, we should be taxing you more. But we can't tax you more. So what do? We have to struggle to pay these debts. Attempt Don't ask me what was done with that loan because it is mind-boggling. I may not even do that audit and finish in the rest of my term. But this is what scared me. The repayment, the maturity. These loans were taken around the same time. Now it is like a flood coming. It's like, what do we call this? It's a flash flood. Not Nyawawa. It's like flash flood. So this is what I found. I found this. Remember last year, the shilling almost lost its footing, isn't it? The shilling exchanged at 160 to the dollar. Many people don't know why. The reason is this. There is a loan that the government of Kenya took, a Eurobond of $2 billion. That is over 260 billion shillings. That bond was coming for payment in June last year. And by February, the government of Kenya had no plan on how to pay it. So everybody, the whole world, saw that Kenya was going to default. And therefore, it put pressure on our shilling. If the government did not act to take another Eurobond to stop that one, I would tell you the shilling would be today 5. In fact, we would be carrying shillings in Wagunia, ukienda kushop. You know, some of these things happened in Zimbabwe, Uganda, and we think it is far-fetched. It is not. You just make a small mistake and it happens. Now, this is what I found. That one I found had been sorted out. But there is another Eurobond of 900 million coming up for payment or repayment on 22nd of May, 2027. 2027. Another one is coming up for payment of $1 billion in February 2028. Another one of 1.5 billion US dollars, and I'm talking about US dollars, 1.5 billion US dollars is coming up for payment 2031. Another one of 1.2 billion US dollars is coming for payment 2032. Another one of 1 billion is coming up for payment in 2034. So 2028, there is 2027 Eurobond coming up for payment. 2028, another one. 2031, only 2029 and 2030, tunapumzika. 2031, another one. 2032, another one. Tunapumzika 2033. 2034, another one. Then unapumzika from 2034 mpaka 2048. Hello? Are you together with me? You are not. Bas, nyamaza, that is not the end of the story. This year, hiyo nimemaliza na Eurobond. Nimerudi kwa this year. Maneno ingine, syndicated loan, TDB. And this is a loan, 13% interest. Afadhali Eurobond ni 7. 8, 9, 10. $646 million to pay. If you add those three, September and October, this year, what we must pay, you can't roll it over. You unalipa. $952 million. That's about almost 130 billion shillings. Hii mwaka hii, September and October. And this syndicated loan goes up to 2030. The ones we should be paying. So what am I saying? I am saying Kenya's economy needs patience. And Kenyan economy, we need to fix it. We cannot suspend facing this economy any further. We must do it now. And doing it now is we must revamp our economy. It must grow at a higher rate. But in the process, the problem is this. You know, you are getting taxes from people to pay loan. You are taking money from that the resources are but how effectively continue retiring these loans of serious takeoff economically? Otherwise, if we just complain and continue complaining, who will solve these problems for us? If I was to run away, I would have run away. I would have said, no, no, no. There was nothing forcing me to take this job. If anything, I was not even in Kenya Kwanza. I was not even a member of UDA. I was this other side. But I've asked myself, have these problems been created yesterday? No, these are problems that have been piling from around 2014, piling up to today. Someone must fix it. And God has seen it fit that it is John Mbadi to help the people of Kenya working together with you to fix this problem. So I came so that first I want to listen to you. But after listening to you, my proposal will be this. We have various groups of youths here and Kenyans. We are bunge la wananchi. led by university students. After this discussion and going forward, so that we don't have various contention around the finance bill. And by the way, let me just talk about this finance bill. Finance bill does not have to increase taxes. It can also lower taxes. I can hear you saying lower. I have started. You know, you people, sometimes you make me laugh. Do you know that the amendments, there are some amendments that we brought to Parliament in December? Are you aware? We brought amendments back to Parliament where if you are employed today, the day you are going home, you take your pension without paying any tax. That is number one. Number two, even if you are on temporary job, you will be getting your gratuity without paying tax. Number three, we were taxing you on this share contribution double. We were taxing you on housing levy. So, for example, if you're earning 100,000 and you are paying tax, levy, housing levy, 1.5%, which is 1,500, you are paying SHA 4,250. That same amount which has been deducted from you was again being taxed at the remaining amount. So you are paying SHA, you are paying housing levy, and then you are paying again tax on the same. 30% of 4,250 is 1,000, almost 300. Is that not correct? So we have removed that. And we will continue to see how best to manage the tax regime so that we don't put too much pressure on you people. We brought $20,000 used to be tax allowable. Now it is 30,000. Mortgage contribution, we have enhanced allowable amount. It saves you tax if you take it. Those are salaried Kenyans. But there are the majority, 80% of Kenyans are not employed. Only 20 are employed. Now, I was suggesting this. Publish finance bill. There are two things I'm going to do. Now, we will again publish in the newspapers the proposed finance bill and put